What's up, everyone? Welcome into Hey Babe, Can We Talk? With me, your host and bestie, Drea Renee. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the place for the hot mess expresses, the black sheeps of love, and for those who just can't seem to get it right when it comes to matters of the heart, this is the day, my friends, okay? And let me tell you, if nobody else gets you, I do. I am you, you are me, we are one, okay? I am a relationship survivor. All right. And I've done everything wrong. So let me help you do it right. And if you are returning, I missed you. And we're going to have a great episode today because I am pissed off today. You guys, this is going to be a real episode. We're going to be talking about ghosting and what it does to a person's heart and soul and mind. Okay. This is something that is very heavy on my heart today. And I know this is an episode that many of you will relate to. We're going to talk about ghosting, what it does, why people do it. And I think we've touched on this before, but today it's feeling really prevalent and really relevant. Okay, relevant, really relevant. Man, it's hot in here. Anyway, so yeah, I want to be really honest and vulnerable and raw and talk about what's really going on because I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. And if you've been ghosted, this is the episode for you. This is the episode for you. And I just want to take a moment and talk to the ghosters out there, okay? And I want to also be honest. I'm not perfect in this, but I'm talking to the people that are in full-on relationships with people, full-on dating situations with people, not even situationships, but that too. Because I'm so over this word. If you watched my episode a couple episodes ago, I'm so over this whole idea of situationships. I'm over it, okay? If you are spending time with someone, you are investing in someone, and I understand that if you guys have both made the decision to not make it a thing, whatever the hell that means for this world today, okay? Whatever it means for the world. Do it. You can do it, but we have to be honest about what our feelings are actually doing. We have to be honest about that, and I'm gonna keep being a pillar and the voice of those people, okay? I'm so tired of being cool. I'm not cool. I'm not. And I've said it, and I own that. I think it's important to know who you are, okay? And find people who are like you. Maybe not as intense as me, but close. So to all those people that ghost these people when you're in, and I'm not talking about ghosting when maybe you had a couple conversations with someone, you're online dating and, you disappear, all that stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm not even talking about if you go on a date with someone and you decide not to chat with them again. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about months of being with someone, talking to someone on the phone, doing the darn thing. And then you decide, I don't want to talk to them anymore. Why can't you have a conversation? To all the ghosts, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Why can't you have a conversation or even a text that says, hey, it's not working out for me, period. That's it. It would be nice to have an explanation, but at the minimum, let the person know. Let the person know. And I think this is a societal thing. I see this all over social media. I see sometimes my friends say, block him, move on, block him, babe, block him, move on. Erase his number, erase all the texts, delete the photos. And this energy, I get it. And shout out to the people that can get over someone in 20 seconds. Like, shout out to you. I am not wired that way. I am so not wired that way. And I think we have to have more space for people that maybe need to process their feelings. Okay. Now, if you broke up with someone and it's been years and you're still ranting and raving, okay. Now, I'm not trying to be a cuckoo bird here, but I'm saying if something just happened within days or even weeks and this person had a significant effect on your life, I think it's okay to process your feelings, okay? We are in such a time now where people are ghosting so often that our minds are becoming accustomed to it and we're teaching ourselves, get over it. And I get it, but those feelings don't go away. And if you aren't really understanding what happened and getting clarity and all these things, and sometimes you do have to have that closure for yourself. Sometimes you get ghosted and you never hear from the person again. And you have to process that on your own. But it doesn't mean that you aren't allowed to have some feelings about it, wonder about it. The brain is going to do what the brain's going to do, okay? The feelings are going to feel. But we get to control our actions. We do get to control our actions. We don't get to show up at their homes, okay? or their place of work. We don't get to do that. We don't get to jump fences and, do things like that. But we can call our girlfriends. We can write in our journals. We can cry. We can listen to sad songs, order pizza, do whatever we need to do. And
Have you hopped fences?
have I hopped fences? That's not what this episode is about. Okay? We're not going to go into the past. Okay, I hopped a fence a time or two in my life. But lesson learned. And to be fair, that guy stayed with me. He stayed with me. He thought it meant I loved him, and I did in that moment. So there you go. But I don't recommend fence jumping. I don't recommend fence jumping. But I don't. But I'm tired, you guys. I am tired of the ghosting. And so today I want to read some ghosting stories to you guys, and then you can comment down below. Let me know. Another thing too, make sure you like, follow, share, comment with all the things. I love to hear from you guys. I forgot to say that in my intro. But yeah, so I want to share some ghosting stories, share my own ghosting stories, and get into what this does to people. I read this quote the other day on a video by Simon Sinek, I think his name is. You guys probably know him. I'll show a little photo of him. And this guy commented on one of his videos, and he was like, it not only breaks your heart when someone ghosts you, it breaks your soul. People take this so lightly, like it's not a thing. And I think it's so interesting when people think that, oh my gosh, relax, let it go. But it really is traumatizing. And when you move on to that next thing, you do kind of gear up with a little bit of PTSD. And I know people hate when they hear that as well, where you're like, oh my gosh, is this going to happen to me again? Okay. It's not. And then it does. And then it's like this wound that you keep having. You're trying to heal it, and then it happens again. And you're trying to heal it, and it happens again, And you do have to be in a decent place with yourself. But let's be honest, people. How many of us out there are fully healed and dating? Where are you at? Where are you at? Great. I know it's the goal. We have a lot of content out there now talking about let's heal, let's work on ourselves, let's do the thing, let's focus, let's date ourselves, all those things. And I think that's wonderful. But as soon as you go meet that person, you're like, oh, duh, I forgot. I forgot all those things, okay? And if you can apply it in real time while you're dating, wow, I salute you. I salute you. And I'm not saying there aren't people that do it, but I'm just talking about the average person who's out there just really trying to make it happen, And some people don't even have this awareness. Some people are just dating very blindly. They're not even thinking about any of this stuff. But back to the subject matter at hand, ghosting. I'll share, it's story time. And you guys, welcome to the GGC. They got GGB, Girls Gone Bible. Shout out to Ariel. But we're going to do the GGC, Ghosted Girls Club. And this includes everybody. But just for the acronym, it makes sense to do the GGC, okay? And one of my craziest ghosting stories was I was seeing this guy. And I understand the timing of it, but I got love bombed. And when you get love bombed, 2 weeks, okay, can feel like a month. And this is way back in the day. This is like 2010. When I was extremely unhealed, okay, very unhealed. And, dating this guy for 2 weeks definitely came with a whole box of red flags that I just set up very nicely around him and looked at every single day. Didn't have a car, was in between jobs, surfing every day. I told you guys a little surf story. It's that guy. Dated in Burbet. And, we were seeing each other, and they were definitely in and out of contact. It was never really consistent. He'd have a moment where it was consistent. But I'm thinking at the time, this is all totally normal. And then we made plans. Fast forward, we made plans. I think we dated all of a total of 2 months or something like that. At least for me, it was 2 months. I don't know what it was for him. I've definitely thought I dated people, and then I found out we weren't dating. So I don't know. But yeah, so we made plans to go to this concert. It was October. I will never forget. And he had been a little funky the days leading up to it, but I was like, we have tickets. We're going to the concert together, right? And again, you think about all the signs in hindsight, all the things that go on that you ignore. And I've learned now, you listen to the stories about their ex-girlfriends, who their friends are, what's the content of their conversations, their relationships with their families. There's all these indicators that will give you an idea about who a person is if you really take the time and you listen. But, I'm like, he's hot, period. End of the story. And it was October, and he was like, yeah, we're going to the concert together. We have tickets. I bought the tickets, by the way. Not shocking, I'm sure. And this mother didn't show up. He did not show. And you guys, I get really triggered when I even hear stories of people saying they got ready for a date or they got ready for something and somebody didn't show up. I get so affected by that. I cannot believe people do that. They don't even text or call. There's so many ways to contact people now, and people just go, oh yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So this guy never said a word to me. It was like the first time I got like full on ghosted. Of course I call. Of course I'm freaking out. I wait a couple days. And this is back in the day where, the work I've done now, I did not do any work back then, and it was reflected in my actions, okay? Because that's when Drea was woohoo to the moon. I'm calling friends. I'm writing on social media. I'm like, yo, what the hell? And of course you go to tragic. You're like, this guy, obviously, he's dead. He's in the hospital. Something happened, right? He didn't just not call me back on the day that we actually made plans. And this isn't the ghosting where like, oh, you were talking and then you just didn't hear from him. We made plans. I had tickets. Never showed up. And then I think it was like a month and a half later, there was a conversation or something. By that time, I was trying not to freaking jump off a bridge. But it was like one of the worst times because when you ghost someone, guys, when you ghost someone that you've spent time with and you've invested in, and whether or not you guys have established you're together or not, I do think that that's relevant, absolutely. And shout out to everybody that can compartmentalize and do the waffle mindset. They tend to say women are like spaghetti with our feelings and our emotions. It's all just kind of globbed together. And men are like waffles. They can put it in little compartments and separate it. And shout out to all the women that can do both. I'm spaghetti, full on spaghetti, just... And sometimes I can separate it for like a hot second, but it's still all connected. You know what I mean? So when you can spend that kind of time with somebody and then wake up the next day and go, oh, I'm over it. F that guy. I've moved on. That is not how I operate. And that is, to me, honestly, I don't even think it's healthy to operate within your feelings like that and just be so like, moving on. You know what I mean? If I've done that, it's because I didn't like him. I didn't like him. I was lukewarm. If I'm lukewarm about you, bye, Felicia. Okay? Like, okay, cool, whatever, I get it. But when your heart is activated, when your mind is activated, when your soul is activated and you feel truly connected to someone and you feel like you're making a connection, you're looking at them thinking you're making a connection, you're hearing what they're saying, their words are matching-ish, right? Because who knows? It is debilitating. It is crazy making. And I want to give some grace to those people that are going through that kind of pain, who are seeking closure, who are seeking clarity, who are seeking an answer. And then there's all these assholes out there who are just like, nah, I ain't calling her back. Nah, I ain't texting. No, I don't care. I mean, it is heartbreaking. It is truly, truly heartbreaking. And it's not right. It's not right. And I think that we need more courage. We need more education. We need more mental health work done and have a conversation. Have a conversation. It is a lot easier to everybody just to be like, oh, no, I'm not saying nothing to them. Now, I understand that there are situations where you have to block and cut people out. There's abusive relationships. There's people who are like stalking you and it's crazy. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about connections that are in the realm of normalcy where you're just being an asshole. And this goes for everybody. This is not directed at men, although as being a heterosexual woman, that's who I'm talking to. Because that's what's happened to me. But even in situations with online dating, I found that if I was chatting with someone for a few weeks and we made plans or, whatever, I still give people the courtesy to say, hey, you know what? I'm not interested. And I don't think I even have to do that. But I just think it lets a person know, hey, I see you. It's not a match. I don't want to leave you hanging. And I've had so many people say to me, wow, thank you for letting me know. Because this is our culture now. You just go, nah, I don't care. And we're losing this human to human experience of people and their feelings and like what's actually going on. And I don't know why we're doing this. I don't know why this is a thing. And there's just less and less connection. I'm so interested to see what the temperature of our relationships will be in about 20 years. Is everybody just going to say, oh, no connections. We just hooking up with everybody. That's what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? And so shout out to all the people out there that are showing up and wanting to commit. And because it is not the culture right now, okay? And we're so stimulated by all these things of like, what's next? What's next? What's next? So I had a guy friend who was telling me a story about a friend of his who's seeing a woman, and the things that his friend was saying about this woman who he might marry were so terrible. And this poor woman, he's confiding in his friend, and I get it. He wants to be open and honest, but this guy was breaking this poor woman down. He's saying, well, her hair's thinning a little bit, and I'm really not a fan of her nose. And this woman has been showing she's a well-paid job, smart woman, not crazy, anything. And he's breaking her down. And he said, I just can't help but think, is there something else out there? Because this is the culture we live in. And he's been with her for a while. And it's, dude, okay, if you think that and this is what you feel, then go. Leave her alone. And by the way, you guys, this guy is bald. Sir, where's your hair? You know what I mean? Are you concerned about your children's? I don't really understand what's happening here. You don't have any hair. And you're talking about this woman's hair's thinning. I'm like, you guys have that in common. I would think. And so it's really crazy that this is the time that we're in. And as somebody who's dealing with, the ghosting situation, it's paralyzing. And the pain of it is it's not fun, especially when you're in the middle of a relationship with someone and they decide to ghost you. And there aren't any signs, because I know that this happens to people too, and you don't know what people are doing. And that's thinking that you don't really know who you're dating is such a scary thing. And really wanting to know who a person is. I know that's for me. There was someone I dated for a while that I stayed with, because even though he was terrible and he gave me Menti B's on the reg, that's my most Gen Z comment ever. He was giving me the Menti B's, okay? Mental breakdown for those who don't know what a Menti B is. I knew him in and out, and he was terrible. Oh my God, everyone thought he was terrible. But I felt I should stay, because I was thinking, man, I don't want to go out there. And I know this is true for a lot of people. I don't want to go out there and do this again. Are you kidding me? I don't want to go do this again. I'm staying with this guy. At least I know he's crazy. I knew all of his crazy. I knew it. And I didn't want to and I knew him deeply. There was nothing else for me to find out about this person. But when you're dating somebody new, especially if you're online dating, OM to the G. Okay? They're talking to multiple people, obviously, because they're not with you yet. Or they could be in relationships. There's a lot of married people online dating. There's people in relationships online dating. I had a girl write to me the other day. I don't even know if I told you this, Michelle. I had a girl write to me the other day it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, she wrote to me, and I went on a couple dates with this guy. I didn't know he had a girlfriend. How would I know that? Okay. She found out, wrote to me, and she was like, hey girl, woman to woman. I want to know if he's who this person is. I saw that he's dating you, or you guys went on a couple dates. He told me nothing happened. All this, and that. The details don't matter. I did not write her back because I really didn't care about this guy. And I was like, I'm not getting involved in this. I went on 2 dates with a guy. I was not even feeling him like that anyway. You know what I mean? I was just like putting myself out there, And he gave me a little bit of flack about like my career. So I was like, this is not the guy for me. And so I didn't write her back because I didn't want to get involved. I had no emotional investment. I was like, girl, that's you. That's all your stuff. Anyway, fast forward, she writes me, this was like 3 months ago. No, was it 3 months ago? 3 weeks ago. She writes to me and she goes, I was looking into my old messages and I realized you never responded and you should have responded. I I said block, now I will do block city because it's like, girl, it's been 10 years. Are you serious right now? And she has a full baby with this man. I'm like, why are you looking at your old Facebook messages worried about me? Block. You know, I mean, it's just, look, but this is what these things will do. It creates breaks in your mind when people are being dishonest, when you're getting ghosted. You know, all these things create trauma for people. And I know people don't enjoy that word. There's a lot of buzzy words that people just really don't enjoy, and I get it. But it's true, because when you move on to your next situation, you unfortunately carry this stuff with you, whether you want to or not, and it ends up, you're a little on guard. And the more you go through these things, the harder it is. So when the next time you are in a relationship, just think about what that possible experience is like for the other person. And that goes for both sides. Okay. I know we talk a lot about, you know, seemingly, you know, what men are doing on the show, but even for the man, what that experience is like for him, because that's something I've been doing, thinking about what is it like receiving information and communicating with someone like me for the other person. Because I told you guys, I'm intense at times. Admittedly so. Okay. I'm very self-aware. I know what I got going on here. But I also do things with love, and I think you have to think about a person's intention. And let me tell you something to all the people out there. When you date me, okay, if you show up as X, Y, and Z, I'm going to believe X, Y, and Z. So don't try to change it on me. Don't try to change it on me later. If you want to do random FaceTimes, you want to call me all day, let me know your schedule. Do not act like I'm crazy when you change it. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. You do X, Y, and Z, and then you want to show up with A, B, C and talk about, oh, I feel like you on my back. I'm sorry, what? Let me scroll my receipts. Let me scroll my receipts. Sir, sir, sir. You see that? That's you checking in. That's you checking in. That's you checking in. Where in here does it say to check in with me? I don't think that's there. So don't come for me. Don't do the switchy okey doke. I don't like that. I don't like that, because that to me is gaslighting, and it's crazy. Don't talk to me on the phone for 5 hours and then a month later go, oh, I don't like talking on the phone. I don't like talking on the phone. What? Okay, I'm sorry. Because men love to say women don't take accountability. Sir, receipts? Receipt, because I like the screenshot. I'm like, what's that timestamp say? 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. We were on the phone. Okay, not crazy. I'm like, don't, please. I'm a Virgo. I keep all of it. All of it. Forget being a Virgo. I'm a woman. We're like, sir. Okay? So, you know, with this ghosting stuff, I don't understand it. I don't want to be a part of it. And I don't want to date anybody who's trying to ghost people. And even if you ask and you're clear, this is another thing too, people, when we're dating. Listen, the first 90 days, you can't believe anything anybody says. It's just a wash, honestly. I never thought I'd be a person saying, keep your guard up. Ugh. You know, I'm all here for love and hope and the joy that you've met somebody that genuinely wants to connect with you. But what's so scary is that someone can show up in your face, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, saying, I'm ready for a relationship. I really want a relationship. You're the one. And then just like that, turn. And all of a sudden say, I don't like talking on the phone. You're checking on me too much. This is too much for me. And you're like, what? Like, so let's get clear about what does this mean to be in a relationship? What does that look like for you? And I want to ask the next person I date, what are you like on a regular basis? You know what I'm saying? What are your regular habits like? Because these first 90 days, we're all excited. Everybody's trying to, get some, and do their thing, okay? And nobody's thinking clearly. But as soon as we get over the intimacy hump, and you know what I mean, no pun intended, but intended, it's almost as if the facade just goes whoosh. And then you're like, who is that? Who is that? Is that who I'm dating? And you're like, yeah, girl, that's who you're dating. That is who you're dating. So wait, do I have a sweat stash? I got to make sure I don't have a sweat stash. Okay, good. Because one episode, you guys, I had a whole sweat stash the whole episode and I was dying. Don't go back and look for it. Yes, Michelle, I had a sweat stash. It was mortifying. But anyway, I just strongly feel that we have to be more aware of other people and their feeling and what this ghosting is truly doing to people. Because the dismissal of the human experience, and so quick to call women crazy or to call people crazy if they check up on you. You know what I mean? And I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong. And I think this culture of putting everybody on block city so fast, just ghost them, or the tit for tat. I had a guy friend say to me the other day, you know, he goes, oh, why don't you text him and pretend you were trying to text somebody else? What are you talking about? He goes, text him and say, hey, I'll be ready in 10. Are you downstairs? What is this? Like, I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like, what? Why would I send that to him? That is so silly. You know, and even still, like, and by the way, if the person doesn't care, they don't care. They're not going to all of a sudden magically care. You know what I mean? They either care or they don't. And we all know what that feels like. So no text, pretend text is going to work, especially if the ghosting has gone on for a minute. Okay. This is from Reddit. On Friday, I stayed up with a guy till 4 a.m. So 8-hour long date, our third date. We made out a lot in his car, which I felt embarrassed by. But he was like, no worries. We'll see each other again and it'll be great. This is what he said, girl. Anyways, I sent him a text the next day and he hasn't replied. It's been like a week now. I didn't think I would get ghosted like this. So this is like ghost light. This is ghost light, but it's still ghosting. Now, 3 dates. Dates are not a down payment on a marriage, okay? I'm not saying you go on a date with somebody and you're like, yo, I do. Where you at? Where are my vows? No. But 3 dates and hasn't replied in a week. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm with her on this. That is weird. Had a great time. We'll see each other again. I sent him a text the next day. He hasn't replied. It's been a week. And I know some of you listening will be like, oh my God, it's only been 7 days. But no, still. And this whole thing of give somebody 3 days, why do I got to give you 72 hours to think about me and reach out to me? Are you out of your mind? 72 hours to send a text message? What? If you need 3 days to get back to me, if we like each other, yo, I'm out. Now, look, I get it. If you're dating multiple people, you got a little roster, whatever. But like, if you're dating somebody and it's just you and them and they need 70, I'm out. I'm out. Throw the whole thing away. Throw the whole thing away. Okay, next ghost story by Goodnight Rose. I've told this story before, but I'm pretty sure it's the worst ghost of all time. Oh, Rose. Details are getting fuzzy now, but we were official. And we had been dating for a few months. He asked me to consider moving in with him and talked of marriage. You know what? I spent a whole day helping my boyfriend move into his new house. Went home with plans for him to meet my dad the next day. And that's when he dropped off the face of the earth, never to be seen again. I have goosebumps right now because this is wild to me. Wild. Like, went out for a few months. They were official. Talked about moving in together. Talked about marriage. You know what, Rose? I hope he died. I did. I mean, this is crazy. And that's when he dropped off the face of the earth, never to be seen again. I mean, you guys, this is what I'm talking about. Like, Rose deserves a text message. Like, what are we talking about? Okay, one more story. I don't understand why people do this. I really don't. Okay, is perfectly cromulent. Okay, cool. We'd been dating about 2.5 years. It was wonderful. It was great. She was cute, intelligent, and we saw a similar outlook in the future. We ended up getting hand-fasted and lived together for 3 months. What's getting hand-fasted? I don't know what that means. Then we had a fight. And a week later, she moved out while I was at work with some of her stuff, her dog, and I never saw her again. A mutual friend had to tell me she wasn't coming back. I mean, you dated this man for 2.5 years and then you moved in together? I don't even know what to say. I mean, honestly, this makes my ghost story of late, I mean, not that bad. I mean, it's bad. Mine is bad for sure. But like to be with somebody for 2.5 years. So it went from 3 dates, you guys. Somebody dated for 3 months, 2.5 years. I'm like, my mind is blown that people actually engage in this behavior. You know, my ghost story is like hanging out, having a great time, mid-conversation texting, nothing's going on. I asked the person, hey, did you end up eating at the airport? How's your dog? Never heard from him again. Did you eat at the airport? How's your dog? Ghost. Like, what is going on? I don't get it. I don't get it. And then when you, hey, is everything okay? Hi, what's going on? Everyone's like, oh, she's crazy. She texts me and asks me what's going on. How dare she? How dare you ask me what's going on, okay? When I've been talking to you, okay? You're nuts. I mean, listen, guys, we got to be more accountable. We got to do better. We got to do better. We got to do better. So, that's going to do it for today's episode. I appreciate you guys. Don't ghost, okay? Don't do it. Just send the text message, even if it says F off, okay? You know, don't do that. Don't really do that. But just don't do it. And again, I want to give the caveat. I am not talking to people who are in really bad situations with stalkers, abusers, all those things. I am not talking to those people. Those are special situations. And if you got to ghost, you got to ghost to save yourself. That is totally different. But to the people who are in relationships with people and communicating, just let them know. Just let them know. All right, guys, thank you so much for lending me your ear. As always, I appreciate you. This is the place where the hot mess expresses the black sheeps of love. I hear you. I am you, you are me, we are one. Okay? Make sure you guys comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this episode. And until next time, I'll see you soon. This is Drea Renee with Hey Babe, Can We Talk? Bye.